The U.S. is deploying a huge force of fighters, including a possibly unprecedented number of F-22 seconds to Guam to practice for war with China. The 10 F-15s from the 389th Fighter Squadron at Mountain Home Air Force Base, Idaho already are on the ground at Andersen Air Force Base in Guam. 25 F-22 seconds from two squadrons, the 525th Fighter Squadron at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, Alaska, and the 199th Fighter Squadron, part of the Hawaii Air National Guard at Joint Base Pearl Harbor-Hickam, should arrive soon. Two C-130J transports from the 374th Airlift Wing at Yokota Air Base, Japan, are accompanying the fighters. The C-132nd and other support planes are critical to what happens next. Under the rubric of Exercise Pacific Iron 21, the fighters will spread out across 4 airfields. 3 Andersen, AB-1 Pat International Airport and Northwest Field are in Guam. 1 Tinian International Airport lies 120 miles north of Guam. The plan, according to Air Force releases, is for the fighters to practice deploying to and flying sorties from austere airfields. The flying branch in recent years has grown increasingly worried that, in the early hours of a regional war, the Chinese People's Liberation Army rocket force might fire scores of ballistic missiles at big U.S. bases, including Andersen. Under the new Agile Combat Employment concept, the Air Force would scatter its planes across dozens of small airstrips in the western Pacific, all in the hope of complicating China's bombardment. Some of the airstrips, such as Northwest Field and Guam, are left over from World War II. ACE is the use of agile operations to generate resilient air power in a contested environment and is designed to organize, train and equip airmen to be more agile in operation execution, strategic in deterrence and more resilient in capabilities, the Air Force stated. The Air Force for years has been practicing this dispersal concept, but rarely with so many fighters, to say nothing of so many stealth fighters. The F-22, like all low observable warplanes, requires extensive maintenance between sorties. That can be hard to do at an airstrip without permanent facilities. The present 132nd in the force mix for Pacific Iron 21 is telling. It's one thing to land a bunch of F-22 seconds on some disused runway and throw up some tents for the Guam wing at Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota arrived at Andersen last week. KC-135 tankers usually accompany these Guam bomber rotations. The logistical demands of distributed air operations represent a major challenge. All those F-15 seconds and F-22 seconds dispersing around Guam should be impressive. But it'd be even more impressive to see the Air Force support those scattered fighters in a way that the Chinese can't shut down with a few rockets.